Hi, so it's Bobbie and Taylor. We're trying to figure out how to be able to do this together. Taylor's in your class, and we're going to do a mini psychosocial assessment just to kind of talk about the process of it. And then we're going to do a couple of other little small videos about how to be able to make this process take place. So we're going to start with the psychosocial assessment, and we're going to pretend like we just met, okay? So I'm going to now become a therapist, and she's going to be a client, and she's making up the parts of it, just so you know. You don't need to be able to see me, just can hear me, and that's fine. So, Taylor, how are you? My name is Bobbie, and I'm going to be your therapist doing the psychosocial assessment. How are you doing? How are you feeling?
I'm doing well, I guess.
Feeling kind of nervous?
A little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's my first time for treatment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And are you glad to be here, or are you feeling like kind of apprehensive? Or?
I'm kind of apprehensive. I don't really know how I see if I see the point in this,
Okay.
per se.
Good. All right. Thank you for your honesty. I appreciate that. So I'm going to ask you a bunch of questions, and any one of them could be something that you could spend a whole counseling session on, and it's not going to, we'll not get through it if we do it that way.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't mind, we're going to kind of go through it. If you could just kind of give me some answers of what's going on, and then we can come back and we're going to develop a treatment plan from that. We're going to come up with some ideas about some of the things you're going to work on while you're here.
Okay.
And so kind of, today's going to be just asking lots of questions, and then we'll go from there. Is that all right with you?
Yes.
All right. So if you could tell me a little bit about, and this is Taylor, my student. This is going to be a little awkward, so because you're doing this on the spot. But anyway, can you tell me, Taylor, the pretend client? Can you tell me a little bit what made you decide it was time to come to treatment? What was going on for you?
My mom made me.
Okay.
She found out that I was using, and she's the one who made me come here.
Okay. Do you know what she was worried? Like, how did she find out? What was she worried about with it? What were you using?
I was using Xanax and other painkillers and stuff like that. She found it because she found a pill bottle in my room.
Okay. And she confronted you with it, and did you try to deny it, or were you honest with her?
Oh, I denied it.
Okay.
Obviously.
Okay. And then, but finally she kind of just got to the point that she said you have to get help.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
And so here you are. Ta-da!
And here I am.
Okay. So are you and your mom close?
Not really. Not as close as me and my father.
Okay. How old is your mom?
53.
And what's her name?
Sue.
Sue. And does she work?
No.
Okay. So she's always been a homemaker?
Yeah.
Okay. And is she in good health?
Relatively.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any family history of addiction with her?
No.
Okay. And your dad?
His
name is?
Bob.
Okay. And?
He's 53, but
Okay.
he's dead.
Okay. And how long ago did he pass away?
About 9 months ago.
Okay. And he died?
From a heart attack.
And what did he do for work?
He was an IT manager for the company my family owns.
Okay, must have been really hard for you, can imagine.
Mm-hmm.
And how many children are there?
It's just me and my brother,
And what's his name?
Jeremy.
And how old is he?
He's 23.
And how old are you?
21.
Okay, so he's older, Jeremy.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm going to show the class a little bit what I'm doing here. I'm doing what they call a family map, a dendrogram. And I'll explain, I'll actually make a copy of it. So Jeremy is,
23.
Okay. And what's he like?
Obnoxious. He's always had my parents' attention. He was the baby boy.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's kind of bipolar.
Okay.
Or at least that's what they say. And
Is he being treated for it?
no.
Okay.
And yeah, I don't see him much, but just typical older brother, annoying.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how does he view you?
Probably like his little sister. He's smarter than me. He's just older than me, so he knows more than me. He's always been better than me.
Does he go to school too?
No, he works.
So you're somebody that, it strikes me from just talking to you that you're striking as being intelligent, and I'm wondering if he has issues to do with the idea that you're kind of doing what you're supposed to be doing, going to school and.
Oh, definitely, because I've always been the good child.
Okay. That's been a good job. Good. Okay. And have you ever been closer to him?
We were closer when we were younger, just because we were forced to hang out and play together. But once I moved out when I was 18, I don't see him as much anymore. We're not very close.
Okay. And he lives with mom.
Yes.
Okay. And can you just in a few words describe what your dad was like?
He loved life. He was awesome. He was,
Talk about him. I see such a smile.
yeah,
on his face.
he was always happy. Always every positive thing. Say never not caring the worry. Just wanted to party, but worked hard so he could party hard.
Okay.
And yeah.
And how about your mom?
We called her the fun sucker growing up because she just knew how to suck the fun out of everything. She's always been the bad parent, or like the bad guy in like my parents' relationship. My dad was always the fun parent. Yeah, we just didn't. We always butt heads. Her and my brother butt heads. Me and her butt heads. She's hard to get along with.
And any family history of addiction?
There's, one of my uncles was addicted to heroin.
Mom or dad's side?
On my mom's side.
And does he still use?
No, he used for 17 years and he's been clean for about 3.
Great. Not that you, but they.
Yeah.
And any other kind of mental health issues in your family? Just with that little chuckle, I can tell there probably are a few.
Yes, I would say mainly on my mom's side. We have Alzheimer's. Every old person gets eventually, it seems. I would definitely, I don't know what's wrong with my mom, but I would say there's some mental health issues for sure.
Okay.
That might come from her mom. Her mom's very, like, almost like always stressed out and just makes everyone else stressed out. And like, yeah.
And how about dad's side?
They're much calmer. They don't really talk about things though. They don't confront any issues. It's kind of like sweep it under the rug if possible. Like, don't let anyone know. But like not like crazy.
Are your grandparents on your dad's side, are they still alive?
Mm-hmm.
And how do they handle your father's death?
They're taking it as well as they can take it. They weren't home at the time, so they drove 5 hours from Wisconsin. When I called them, I was the one who had to tell my grandpa. So.
It was horrible for you.
And yeah, my grandma, that's her baby boy. So you're not supposed to lose your kids when you're at that age. They're like 80 something. So yeah, they're definitely taking it hard, but they're getting through it.
Do you have a good relationship with them?
Yeah, they come down all the time. They live in Florida half the time, so they come down.
Okay, so we're not gonna do this for real because you're not real for real. But it's why I would start gathering some information about your substance use and your history behind substance use. I would also start to ask you questions about trauma. So you don't need to answer this, but I would ask questions like, when you were a child, what was the most traumatic thing that ever happened to you? And then if you told me that, for instance, that you were sexually abused, and I think I mentioned this earlier in a video, but if you were sexually abused, I would want to be able to find out who did it,
and, yeah,
right?
so
And do they have
you-
access to children? And the reason behind that is because if they do, I would need to find a way of being able to report it. But you would be in confidence because I wouldn't have to refer that came from you. And then I would get some more about like finding out about your vocational life, about your educational life, any problems in school. Your family's ethnic background is, like, are you Irish?
Oh yeah, we're Irish and Polish mainly.
Okay. And do you think that impacted you at all in terms of your relationship with alcohol and drugs?
The Polish, yeah, but like I think that's mainly because my best friend was Polish, like hardcore, like 100%. Her parents straight off from me, from Poland.
Oh really?
So like they like drinking, except drinking, not really drugs, but like drinking was like kind of accepted in their household when we were younger, and it was kind of like if you did it in the house, like just don't do it outside. Like we'd rather have you do it in the house. So yeah, I definitely would say.
Okay. So part of what I would want to gather is I want to gather some information about any kind of cultural influences. Like I'm Irish Catholic, so it's really common that in the Irish population there's a high amount of drinking.
Yeah.
Martin says we're fine for alcohol.
You're
For
right
alcohol,
at
you
fifth.
always find fifth. For Irish, you always find fifth. And so try to be able to gather that information. There's a whole, and you can use, when you guys do this, you can either use the psychosocial that's in the book. I can give you a copy of the psychosocial. I think there's actually one online. But if not, you can go get one anywhere. You want, just go ahead and get one. Use whatever we want. And then, so you're going to do what we just did, but you're going to do it with like a friend, or you're just going to make it up, even if you don't, because you're not videotaping it, so you can just make it up yourself.
Okay.
And I said this before, but if you do it with a friend, just don't do their real life, because if you do, you might get yourself into a sticky wicket with your finance stuff that you don't really wanna be asking about.
Yeah.
And then you're gonna finish the psychosocial, and at the end of that, so there's a couple things. So, going back to you being the client, so what are some things you think you'd like to work on while you're in treatment? What are some issues that you feel like would be important to deal with?
Definitely how I cope with situations, because I feel like that's where a lot of my use came from.
Okay.
Is like getting mad. I get mad very easily. Yeah, just coping with everyday life.
Right. Anything else you want to work on?
Not that I can think of right now.
Right. And so we all bring into our experiences our strengths and our weaknesses. What are some things about you that you think would be helpful for you in maintaining a life of recovery, getting healthier? Some qualities about you.
Qualities about me. I'm pretty strong-willed. I like to stick with things.
Okay.
I don't like to fail.
Okay.
So I wouldn't want to in this case.
Okay. And what kind of gets in your way?
My emotions.
Because they're kind of intense.
Yeah. Yeah, really just my emotions. Like, I feel like I let them control too much of my life.
Okay. Right. And that's been a problem for you for a long time? Okay. Are you currently in a relationship?
No.
Okay. And have you had a serious relationship?
I have, yes.
Okay. But not now?
Not now.
Okay. All right. And you feeling okay with that? Usually it's encouraged that people not be involved in a relationship in early recovery, only because it gets to be like almost like the flirting and the romance stuff gets to be like a little high on its own. It kind of diverts us from what we're supposed to be paying attention to. So, any questions for me or anything you want to bring up with me?
No.
Any medical problems?
No.
Okay. Any medications?
Yes, I'm on Seroquel and Zoloft.
Okay. All right. And do you have any trouble sleeping, or does Seroquel help with that?
Seroquel helps with that.
Okay. All right. All right. Well, that's it. So what I'm going to do now is stop this. Because this 4 minutes long.